Good morning, Part 2. How are you doing? Mrs. Yasmin with you. Welcome back to school. Let's start our second term with the Module 5. Okay, so first of all, we're gonna take outlook about it. So we have the vocabulary, which is talking about the global issues. Global issues means like the world problems, problems that you can find all around the world in all the countries. And we have the environment, we have the international organizations. And going to the structure, we're gonna take some prepositions, some word formation, and phrasal verb turn. Then we're gonna talk about in the reading part about the pollution, great, and how does it affect the world, and how can we reduce the pollution. Then we're gonna go to the grammar, which is talking about the reported speech and reported statements. Maybe this is the first time for you to take it, but you'll find it very interesting. And then we're gonna go to the skills, which are listening, speaking, writing, which you always find very interesting. And then going to the language focus, this is about like extra exercises about what you have learned in the whole module. And to the progress check, if you remember, we answered together in the class. You check yourself, or you check your progress, and then you give yourself the marks. Great. So first of all, we're gonna look at some word issues where you can find them in all countries around the world. You can find the poverty, you can find the homelessness, the unemployment, the landfills of rubbish, endangered species, and pollution. But now I want you to categorize them. Which of them are social problems and which of them are environmental problems? So how about the poverty? You found this social problem wasn't by social problem, which is related to people, okay? While environmental problem related to the environment around us. So poverty is a social problem for sure. Homelessness, social problem. Unemployment, social problem. Endangered species, is it a social problem or environmental problem? Environmental for sure. And the landfills and the pollution as well. So now you got like an outline about that unit or about the module. So we're gonna check some of these problems. You're gonna find some of these issues discussed in the reading text. Okay, great. Okay, so first of all, let's take like a warm-up activity before we start. These are newspaper extracts A and B with the words below. We're gonna fill in these gaps. We have packaging, household waste, volunteers, and accommodation. You find any difficult word here? I'll give you like 10 seconds to check. Okay, so let's start here. Reading the first extract. At a recent charity ball, the mayor announced that the council will build more sheltered for people on the streets. So, sheltered what? He would build what? What's here related to buildings or places to stay in? Yes, accommodation. He added that he was delighted to see a huge rise in number of helping out at local shelters. So, who can help out? Yes, the volunteers. So volunteers, people do like a service for free. They don't take money in return for doing this thing. They're just helping because they want to help. Let's go to the second extract, which is B. The Prime Minister said that his government was producing a series of advertisements about recycling. He also explained that everyone needed to choose supermarket products that had less. So, then let's go back again. The Prime Minister said that his government was producing a series of advertisements about recycling. What can they recycling? What can they recycle? Yeah, the household wastes. He also explained that everyone needed to choose supermarket products that had less packaging. Packaging means what? They are not put in bags. This is what we mean. Because you know, like the plastic bags are means of pollution as well. Let's go to this one. We have some problems below. We're gonna fill in. We're gonna categorize them. So we have some issues here, and we have to name these extracts. Okay? So first of all, we have the poverty, the homelessness, the unemployment, endangered species, landfills full of rubbish, and pollution. So first one, they're talking about accommodation and people that are in the streets that they don't have place to stay in. So this problem is called homelessness. Great. And the second one is talking about recycling, the household waste and this packaging. So this is talking about what? Yes. Landfills full of rubbish. The more rubbish you have, the more pollution you'll get. Okay, so which of these problems are the most serious in your country? So in Egypt, which is the most serious? Poverty, homelessness, unemployment, endangered species, pollution, landfills full of rubbish. What do you think? Yes, they all are in Egypt, but which is the most serious? What do you think? In my opinion, pollution. Pollution is the most serious problem. And also the landfills full of rubbish. Yeah, yes, you're right. Okay, so now we warmed up. Let's go back to the first part here, which is the reading part. Okay, so kindly open page 70. What do we have here? Okay, so this is an advert and the extract from the song. What do you think the Earth Hour is? So this is called Earth Hour. Tonight at 8:30 we are all turning off our lights. So do you have any background about this? Do you have any idea about this? The Earth Hour? Have you heard about it before? Great. Let's go here, listen to the song, and try to guess what is Earth Hour.
When the lights are off and darkness, we will build one light. The earth, our home, is crying out, it's crying out. Where will we be in the future? Where will our daughters and sons be? Where will it be? If there's only one, there's no other one, there's only one, only one. Whoa! The earth is crying, the earth is crying, it's calling, it's calling, oh. The earth is crying, the earth is crying, for you and for me, whoa. The earth is crying, the earth is crying, it's calling, whoa. The earth is crying, for you and me. Can you hear the trembling sound? The earth is crying, the earth is crying. Stormy tears are falling down. Can you feel the ground? It's tumbling down like the heart's pounding sound. Can you hear it? Oh, can you hear it? Whoa! The earth is crying, the earth is crying, it's calling, oh. The earth is crying, the earth is crying, for you and for me, whoa. The earth is crying, the earth is crying, it's calling, whoa. The earth is crying, for you and me. We can live as one dream to save the ground, to live on this earth with harmony, for you, for you, for you and me.
Okay, so this is very touching, guys. So this was a song about Earth Hour. So here in this video, you can find like some of the Earth problem, like the ice is melting and the global warming, animals that have no shelter, animals that couldn't find food, okay, pollution, smoke, and the rubbish everywhere, pollution and volcanoes, eruption and so on. So all of these things are related to the environment, and all of things are related to the earth. The earth wants rest. The earth wants to breathe. Okay. So here, let's go to this part. Did you know part? Some cities such as Chicago dim the lights in the tall buildings while birds are migrating. So migrate like to travel from a place to another place. This saves the lives of more than 10,000 birds every year. So in Chicago, what's meant by to dim the light, like to lower the light. Okay, this helps the birds to survive, and this saves the lives of more than 10,000 birds every year. So turning off the lights is something very important, and we're gonna read the text about it. But before we go to reading the text, we're gonna go to some words to check the meaning, so that when you read, you find it easier for you to understand. Let's go here to the words that we have. We're gonna check their definitions from the word list. Okay, we're gonna focus on the red words. Power cut. Power cut means when the electricity supply is stopped. So, no electricity, no lights. This is what we mean by the power cut. Complete darkness, a total lack of light. Security lights flash on and off. Bright lights turn on and off when somebody walks past. Low energy bulbs, bulbs that use lower amounts of electricity. You know, like the bulbs that are related to Venus and something like that. So they are low energy bulbs, and they help to reduce the pollution. Overload too much of something. Resident, an inhabitant, or a person who live in a place, is a citizen who live in this place. Emergency services, the fire brigade, the police, and the ambulance services. Great. Let's go to the other red words. In a panic means in uncontrollable fear. So you are so afraid that you can't control your fear. Maybe you scream, maybe you run away, and something like that. This means by panicking. Giant, huge or very big. Silvery, having the color of silver. Authorities, a group of people in power who make decisions, like the government. Okay. Spot means to notice. Spot here as a verb, not as a noun. Shop front, the outside of a shop. Like before entering the shop, you'll find the banner and you'll find like some lights in order to attract you to the shop. These are called what? Front shop. Stray, of an animal without a home, like stray cats and dogs. Wander, to walk aimlessly, like to walk around without any aim. Waste, to use thoughtlessly, like wasting water, so leaving the tap open without using it. This is like wasting water. And then we have affect, to have an influence on something. Wildlife, the animals and the plants, nature. Ecosystem, all the plants and animals living in an area. Hatch, of an animal, to be born from an egg. Horizon means the skyline. We have insects, and swarm, of the insects, to move in a large group. So like when you find a lot of ants together, so moving together, so we can say that the ants are swarming. So they are moving in a large group. Feed means to eat. Reproduce, to produce babies, to have babies. Okay. Decline, to grow smaller, maybe to decrease. Creeping, to enter a place gradually. Disrupt, to interrupt or to upset. Lack means a shortage of something. Depression means sadness. Heart disease, and then dim means to reduce the light, lightening the lights in a place. Marvel at, to be amazed by something. reduce to make something smaller or less. So now we're done with the words here. So it will be easier for you to go through the text and try to read it with me. We're gonna listen and read to find out. So I'm gonna read it to you. Great. In 1944, Los Angeles had an earthquake that caused a power cut. Suddenly, the city was in complete darkness. So this text is talking about electric light overload. So now we're talking about the problem of the overload of the electric light. Overload means like too much that it can't be like it's not bearable. Great. Some residents phoned the emergency services in a panic and said that they had seen a giant silvery cloud in the sky. This is so weird. The authorities explained that they were looking at the Milky Way galaxy. It was usually hidden because of the city's lights. So, accidentally, the earthquake caused the power cut in the whole city. So, the whole city was in total darkness. So, they could see the sky clearly without any lights. And they saw what? A giant silvery cloud in the sky, and that was so weird. And then the authorities or people who are in charge said that they were looking at the Milky Way galaxy. So, have you seen it before in the sky? No, because if you are or if your place is dark, while other places in your city are not dark, so you couldn't see the sky clearly. It was suddenly hidden because of the city's light. Next time you get the chance, look up into the night sky. What do you see? Probably not much. Even in the countryside, the stars are harder to spot now. So, like if you go to your like balcony or something like that and look at the sky in the night, you couldn't see it clearly because you'll find out that lights are open in other places, not important to be in your place. Other places in the city you'll find like lights are on, so you won't be able to see the sky clearly. It's all because of the light pollution from our towns and cities. Street lights shine onto empty roads and car parks. Shop fronts and office blocks are lit up after everyone has gone home. So, although there is no one in the street, but you'll find out that there are lights in the street. And this is the light pollution, that it will prevent you from seeing the nature and the beauty of nature in the night or at night. And security lights flash on and off as stray cats wander through gardens. Most cities and towns are so bright at night that they can be seen from space. This is not only wasting energy, but it seriously affects the wildlife. So, it's not only about seeing the beauty of the nature at night, but it affects the wildlife. Animals are affected by this. How? And the ecosystem after hatching on the beach. For instance, baby turtles use the sun going down in the horizon to get back to the sea. So they use the sunlight, the natural sunlight, in order to guide them to their place. But they get flying insects also swarm around the street lights. But they get confused by by the bright lights of seafront hotels and can't find their way. So, what happened to the sea turtles? Actually, they are lost because of the bright light of the seafront hotels. You know that the hotels that they have the view of the sea. Okay, so the turtles are misled, so they couldn't be able to go back to the sea in order to like take care of their eggs. Great. So they couldn't find their way. Flying insects also swarm around street lights. Like you find the light and then you find insects like swarming, like crowding around the lights and and making circles around the street lights. And birds sing at midnight. And this is weird. Birds all sing in the morning, the early morning, becoming too exhausted to feed and reproduce. So actually, in this time, birds should be sleeping, but because there is light, they weren't able to sleep. This causes their numbers to decline. Then the light pollution is affecting us too. When street light creeps in through the curtains, our sleep patterns get disrupted. This isn't just making us tired, lack of sleep can lead to serious illnesses such as depression, heart disease, and even cancer. You know, you have to sleep in a total darkness. But when your room is not in a total darkness, you will have a problem with your sleep patterns. Yes, for sure you'll sleep, but you'll have an exhausting sleep. Okay, because your body and your brain isn't okay, great, isn't used to these lights while being asleep. So this will affect your sleep pattern, and it is not just making us tired. The lack of sleep, it can lead to reduce it can lead to serious illness and like depression, heart disease, and even cancer. Fortunately, many towns and cities are starting to dim their street lights. So to dim means like to reduce the street lights and switch off unnecessary lighting. So if you find any lighting which is not necessary, they switch it off. Like the street lights in the very late night, it's like useless. So they turn off or switch off these lights. Also, once a year during Earth Hour, people in more than 7,000 cities and towns in over 150 countries switch off their lights for an hour. So they agreed on switching off the lights for an hour, so the whole 7,000 cities and towns will be in total darkness. Why not take part next year? So why don't we do this in Egypt too? You can also use low energy bulbs and switch off lights when you aren't using them. All of this will help. From the beginning of time, man has marveled at the night sky. So you enjoy the beauty of the night sky. Let's work together to reduce the light pollution and protect our beautiful starry skies. Oh, this is very interesting. Okay, so we have here some headings. We're going to read the headings from A to F and underline their keywords. And then we're going to match them to the paragraphs that we have read from 1 to 5. So here we have finding solutions, brightness we don't need, keeping us awake, getting worse and worse, seeing the stars again, and tragic effects on nature. So we have 6 headings. Actually, we have 5 paragraphs. Okay? So, finding solution. Where was the paragraph that was talking about finding the solutions for the light pollution? Do you remember? Yes, for sure. It was paragraph number. Sorry. Okay. I missed it. No, it wasn't like that. I mean, yes, number 5. Brightness we don't need. Which are the brightness we don't need? Hmm. Okay. Okay.